Counsel, if you are ready to continue, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The witness is being ushered in.
Thank you.
Mr. Cham, welcome back.
Mr. Cham, himuyama bismillah.
Jarama.
Thank you very much.
Let me remind you that you are still on the oath.
Mido manditina ma wanda ma hajoni watolongol watino dangal ko gol tari hajoni.
And it is a criminal offense to lie on the oath in this country.
Te dungo bade bonde pour halugol halaka hebaki nder ndi leydi te nde wonno hida wati.
It is also an offense to provide false testimony to the TRRC.
Ha joni kadi ko bade bonde kadi halugol halaka andandama ka hebaki yeso TRRC on.
Before the break,
do en yewde fowtagol seeda,
you are telling the commission
ida wi the commission o wondema
how you came to know that Balo Kante was tortured.
honno ari ha andirda wondema Balo Kante o piyama mate o wadama ko musi e ndor dum don place.
Mr. Witness, you said you were certain that Balo was tortured, correct?
Sede wiida wondema ananite no labuma wondema Balo o piyama o wadama ko musi ka don ko nabano don.
Correct?
Hey.
Yes.
Thank you.
And you would agree with me that you can only have certainty in this case by saying it.
Te ajabana ila wondema ender dum do on ko andandama hino fati e sengo Balo ko no labirtama ko duwoni wondema hara hida tawa.
That's the case, isn't it?
Ko non duwa e ndawana.
Just answer yes or no.
Utan eima ala no dum labirtama utan ko duwoni sida tawa.
You can only have certainty in this case if you saw it happen.
Correct. Hono dum do labirtama ko dum woni sita yitere ma dariki e mum har hida tawa e affaire ko dum non dum labirtama.
I don't know laptama post.
Yes, that will be clear to you.
And in your case, it was that clear to you because you saw it.
Awa hino waini ang e songo ma awa e affaire no yari ni ko dum woni wonde ma ayi uno tella uno mata sabu hida tawa no don.
True or false?
Ko nganda ko fenande.
Alande pour humpitagol.
You see, to be able
out of curiosity.
To see something
out of curiosity, that's what it means.
Out of curiosity. I went there and I peeped and I saw.
And what did you see?
I saw Balo Kante being electrocuted.
By who?
And me wa andu tigi ko because min ko mi yogni ni dum e oram sa ka arano ko mi yogni ni re bayti mi bedon be mi beton min mi anda ko mi ko mabbe dal won beton because den yogni mi tam min jimi be min ko don mi yawtir mi.
I cannot say exactly who was doing the electrocution. I just came, peeped inside, I saw these people in there, then I decided to pass. I didn't spend any time there, but I peeped inside and I saw them. That's the time when they were electrocuting him, but I cannot say exactly who was doing the job on him.
Who were the people around him that you saw?
ko hombe wonno e takko makko don ko yibbe hiuda ben
mi wi no ma be bawo
The people I named recently in the past.
Could you tell us again? Who are those people you saw around Bale Kante when he was being electrocuted?
You know, for the Barinato, no Baba Saho, Marina.
For the Bari was there. For the Bari was there, plus Baba Saho and Daba Marina.
So, at least these are the people you know for certain were torturing Balokante.
Awa hino wa ini no la be do be himbe be halda do be woni himbe be ana hino la uma wonde mako be himbe be anda ndama wonde wonno wadude Balokante de bare do woni wadu masa no be mon kura be hino la wada mo tocho do woni no lapam.
Yes.
So when you told this commission that you assumed that Balokante was tortured, that was just an excuse. You would accept that.
Gila wi unoda commission wonda mi awi e wonda ma e Balokante ko Balokante won watu hari hibe wada no mo tocho do woni hibe lappa ma hibe wada mo ko musi awa joni hino wayni dum don ko hala ko andana wonda ma awa dirtini ka sengo.
Assumption or Miminoma is a very, very high assumption. I qualified it that way. Until I told you up to around 100%. So on assumption, I'm holding no teeth goal makongol.
What I said before about the assumption was that I was 100% sure of what happened.
Mr. Witness, Mr. Witness, let us not argue over semantics. This is not an assumption, this is knowledge. The two are completely different. What you just told us is first-hand knowledge of torture, Balokante being tortured, and you even described the manner in which he was tortured. That was 100% knowledge.
Tigiri te ko halu no fo affaire no wala non jonde den don no be warir no don affaire fo dum fo hala ni be ko honno du wa urno.
That is knowledge.
Donc gandal labungal dawana.
You agree?
Yes.
Good. So when you said it was an assumption, that was just one excuse to get you out of this.
We gonna say sabi wonda ma emijo ma dum do mi sikkita dum don ko sengo ganda na wonda ma dum don hida wawa yafe dum don goddo sengo.
You agree?
A jabi.
Pona dumanin pour yafe gol. Gol mi wadani ko boni.
No don ko wino ko dum woni
yi gongol ni pour wat gol assumption no. Wana wonde no ma averi fengol.
To say that it was an assumption is not part of that I was lying.
No, I was trying to extricate myself.
Not that I was trying to extricate myself.
But that is not exactly true. Your basis of knowledge was not an assumption, it was actual knowledge. That's the truth, isn't it?
Yes.
What is
Yes. That's what in Fula, that's what means yes.
Good. So it is actual knowledge, it is factual, it's not an assumption. Correct?
Yes, that's what you asked. I answered in the positive.
Because it's not an assumption. When you told us it was an assumption, that was not exactly correct.
Assumption emphasis mbomi wadi o dum ko hollunogal matan ko ni dum woniri pour ane horema joni nganda kono ayat an ka ani mi ala ni mako labi assumption mo nganta mako lab the post ko mo nganta mi dum botindi.
The assumption I mean is that something
ko dum na wayno ni ko gandal he min he mijo am
The assumption I said is something that you have seen, that you have faced, something that is quite clear to you, that is obvious to you. So that's the type of assumption I mean.
In fact, Mr. Witness, you have just described the direct opposite of an assumption. And don't push me to call it by what it is. What you said initially was a lie. Plain and simple. It was a simple lie. Let's call it by its proper name. When you said you did not go there, you did not see it, you did not know who was there, you lied.
Now you got to me
I didn't say I don't know who was there.
You said you did not see it.
Yes.
You did not say, you told us you did not know who was dealing with him. You only know that these were the supervisors in charge. You only heard the cries from a distance, but you did not see anything. All that was a lie.
Well, I said I said who was screaming.
Mr. Witness, don't make it unnecessarily complicated. Okay? And don't play games with the commission. If you do that, you just making it more difficult, and it's not necessary. You know for certain that what you said previously was not true. It's completely different from what you are saying now. That is it. You agree?
There is a little difference.
Yes.
Are you serious?
What do you call him sexy? So
okay. Maybe what I should do is to send the matter to the chair. Let the chair deal with it. If you answer the questions, we move. Listen. We have to listen to each other. If you answer the questions truthfully, we move on. If you don't answer the questions, we would stay on the issue until we get the correct answer. You don't want things to be called by their proper or precise names. The commission does not want to leave things to ambiguity. The commission you want to get to the truth, to the details. And I'll give you another chance. And answer the question truthfully. You previously told us that you did not know that this guy was being tortured. You only have a high degree of suspicion that he was tortured. So you assumed he was tortured. That is what you told us before, correct? That is what you told us before.
Council, what I said before and what I'm saying now is quite clear. If you like, you take it.
No, that is not what I said. Then you don't have to misinterpret me.
No, say what you say now.
No, what I am saying is whatever I said before.
Allow.
Wait. No, maybe. Whatever I tell you before, you take what I am telling you now. This is what I have said.
Okay, good.
You take what I am telling you now.
Okay, what you are, which one is the truth?
What I tell you now.
Good. So if the one you're telling me now is the truth, so we should also assume, like you did, that the one you told us before is a lie.
Joni si afala men jetta ko halda kon do joni awa joni ha joni men kadi men jetta wonde mako halno da kon bawo dum don aw ko fenande.
It was not full.
It was not full what?
Yes. no, I'm not saying full. It was not the full fact.
It was okay. It was.
That's what I'm saying.
So it was half truth.
Oh, you know what? You can't pass this one. Half truth, full truth. Now I'm telling you, take what I tell you. I think it's better we progress, Council.
You don't want that tag, I lied before. You don't want that. You don't want that tag, that label, I lied before. So we would progress. Everybody can draw their conclusions.
Joni hino wa ini awa joni afala kan goddo sen gaala wi de wonda mako ko halno da kon folo dum ko fenade joni awa fo joni en nyaawana hoore men.
And torture
woni tappede ma wadede ko muusi
was such a norm at the NIA, wasn't it?
Ko bade de andanda ma wonde mako wowuno de wadde ton NIA ndawana gonga.
It happened frequently.
Te wadayno wattuji fo wadayno ton dum wadayno ton.
Wattuji fo.
Every time.
Wattuji fo.
Not every time. They used to do it.
They used to do it. It used to happen. That's what I said.
It used to happen. They used to do it. What is the difference?
It used to happen.
Well, it doesn't happen by itself, does it?
Huh? That's what you asked. You said whether it used to happen. I said it used to happen. You say whether it used to happen. I said it used to happen. It's a direct answer to your question.
Yes. Okay. The NIA officers used to carry out torture in that premises.
Yes, they used to do it.
The 2006 victims who were brought to the NIA, they too were mercilessly tortured.
2006
that is the Ndur Cham coup.
Because that's
true. That's true. Even some members of our leadership were involved. 3 to 4 of them were beaten.
Say 4 to 5.
4 to 5 were beaten.
Who? Give us the names.
Daba Marena, the Director General.
Daba Marena.
Aliu Singate.
Aliu Singate.
Musa Diba.
Musa Diba.
Kemo Balajo.
Kemo Balajo.
If
I can remember properly, these are the people.
4. You named 4. Daba Marena, Aliu Singate, Musa Diba, and Kemo Balajo. And this was the former DG and senior management of the NIA. How did you come to know that they were tortured?
This is something that many of us became aware of it. A lot of us at the place came to know about what happened to them. But at that time, I was not there.
Yes, you were working at Nawek, but you know for certain that these people were tortured.
Yes.
Well, but you would also agree with me that even former or serving NIA agents were not spared from torture once serious allegations were made against them.
kala neddo e mabbe me andana wonda ma be sobbitike ma goddum go anga wona neddo ma andana wonda ma awa fuudota ko wonda ma e gal do de pigge de be watta ma bade musi de be watta be don ton
ko gonga bayti dum wadi.
Yes, that's true, because it happened.
You've mentioned this 4, but not only these 4, other senior NIA officers were tortured. For instance, Abdullah Kujabi.
Be yimbe na be halda do me fo na be do tawoni yeso be andana be natino de bitte wiete do yeso do goddo kan do wiete Abdullah Kujabi on kadi natino e bitte de
adani on ta on tuma wana ton o gola ta o riwama ko dum take mi innani bo.
But at that time,
at
that time he was not working with the institution. At that time he has already been dismissed. So this is why, in fact, I forgot about him.
Yes, but he's a former Director General of the
NIA.
And he was tortured at the NIA.
Yes.
Ngor Seka?
Ngor Seka, no?
Ngor Seka, yes.
Yes, Ngor Seka also. Yes.
So, and the list would go on and on and on.
Oh, kono yarata yara yimbe ben kono yarata yimbe dudu be bokkuno e mum.
You agree?
Yes.
Ajabi.
Yes, I agree.
What do you say would happen if an individual was alleged to have done something that threatened Yaya Jammeh's government?
On no wi uda ko wadata neddo si neddo tu mama wondema on ko o falama adude hubbude yite ma hubbingol laamu Yaya Jammeh kon no be wadata on no.
What would happen to that person if the person is taken to the NIA?
Ko hondu wadata on wajijo on neddo si o nabama hoggo NIA ton kon sikkuda ko hondu wadata on.
The only one that I'm on kulema ko Trrc ko family.
I know that a person like that will not be treated lightly. His affairs or her affairs will not be treated lightly.
Let's cut the diplomatic language and call things by what they are. In most instances, what would happen to such a person? I'm not saying in all. I'm saying in most instances, what would happen to such a person?
What would you do in that situ ma wana den don tume ma be sikiri ma wana den don sikke ko hondu wadata on wajijo
ko buri ko en hew da wawi lore.
Most of the people, I can say,
most of the time, mostly you are going to be maltreated. In most cases, you are going to be maltreated. You are likely to be maltreated in most cases. Yes. Maybe.
And maltreatment in this case is just another description, another term for torture, correct?
We jogoragol netto no wana ko jogogol bongol dum kadi ko lawol go ganda da wonno kadi ko bittingol netto kadi.
Torture alan torture kanyum dumani mum dum na yaji.
You know, torture is wide. The definition of torture is wide.
Maltreatment.
Maltreatment is part of it.
So when you said you would be maltreated, you meant that the person would be tortured?
We see we wonder on tigi or what a maltreat go jogger mana jogol bongol unkadi no tawa e torture.
Yes, it could be that.
And so would you say that the use of torture was part of NIA or government policy in dealing with people who threatened Yaya Jammeh's government?
John, in that way, I wonder ma. Yet to go loud, do any what go in torture, do any jogger lapu go ma, what do jogger bongol, do any loud go under NIA ma lamu Yaya Jammeh, come back on benefit, surtu a halani, what you got to boni, lamu Yaya Jammeh, non conombe jogger on jogger on tigi.
You could me Javi, ko why no it and go hide up when the water and the Olamdi, eh?
Yes, that's just what I said. It looks like the same thing, but just what I said just recently is that what I said before.
No, the question is slightly different.
I don't understand the difference then.
Yes.
Okay, kono no hanu no bimini kono no wini kono yes.
Yes, but just as you said, yeah, that's it.
My question now is, would you agree that it was the policy of the NIA or the policy of the government that most people who were arrested for threatening the government of Yaya Jammeh would be tortured? Would you say that?
Yes.
Good. So if one were to be arrested and taken to the NIA on strong allegations of a coup d'etat, or planned coup d'etat against the government of Yaya Jammeh, it is most probable that that person would be tortured. You agree with that?
Yes. Yes, that could happen, but I was part of those who were at one time arrested, but I was not beaten. That was not at the NIA, we were at the Holgam.
Does that explain why you were not tortured?
No.
No.
If you were at the NIA, would there be the likelihood that you would be tortured?
When I on to my dole de iti ton join ko Holgam or what the fof because ko ben gono on to my minen ta faida he so ko ala ko min goni.
At that time, all the powers were taken away from the NIA and were given to Holgam. So that was the time when we were apprehended at Holgam.
But you would agree with me that Holgam was not generally known for torture.
Kono jabay wondama o place wiete do Holgam jama on andano wondama ton ko place mo andana wonda yimbe lappeta to mabbe wade ton ko musi.
In fact, they were known more for fabrication of evidence and bribery of witnesses. Isn't that the case?
Dudi ko yimbe ko andiri ton ko du woni yimbe tan be gongindi be jabina yimbe ton kanyum mi sede be mantino be naforta ben pour be haalida be haala be andana wonda wana haala dari.
Isn't that the case?
Ndawana on no walori.
Yes,
that used to happen at Holgam, but not only at Holgam, even at our place also, it used to happen there.
I agree, we would come to that. We just want to dissect the system to understand what used to happen in Gambia. Holgam were the specialists in fabricating evidence and bribery of witnesses.
Holgam ko palace wanda wanda sede be ben ko dum woni be yaltina sede be andana be ko be anda ko be halata te kanyum kadi be jonna be goddum pour ko ben sede be kadi.
True or false?
Wana gonga ko fenande.
Andi avere dukkugol sede be dum de mi doyen andi kono pour wande no ma mani nono vite ana o siwtinira kamde pour duma ono vite bon jakis gol pour holle gol dum do ni dum woniri te wana non dum woniri setta go wonne dum do ni woniri ta wana dum woniri dum labani kam kono mi do andi dal affaire dukkugol sedeji.
What I know about Holgam is that bribery to bribe witnesses, I know about that, it happens at Holgam. But for the fabrication part, I am not very clear about that at Holgam.
Give us examples of bribery of witnesses at Holgam.
John why John be misal ko seede hombo be duki pour o yaha o seedi to yo ko
Nemin nanga min tuma wandenama ko kuzaza min patiwa nyande aljuma wono.
When we were apprehended, it was on a Friday.
Accused of coup.
And we were accused of being part of a planned coup.
Rui Javi, mangantama ko on okigno on report pour wande no ma minen ko dum min badi te ko on ne kadi ko on goto wano report lan tombong.
It was Rui Jabi who who made that alleged accuse about us, and it was the same Rui Jabi who also reported Lantombong.
That guy must have been a specialist in detecting or sniffing coup d'etats, planned coup d'etats.
Lantombong and Sibemata no meeting to Buba Baji and Minmido Tawano he wado be security Galle Buba Bajo Puru Sibemata meeting avec Kutawan Takomin and Daroto he damu de Galle Puru Nara Nato be Funtobe even Tumano Minen be on group.
He even said that we used to stand guard when these people were holding meetings. Galle Hombo?
They used to hold meetings at Bubabaji's compound, and whenever Bubabaji's compound, and whenever these meetings are taking place, we are the ones who will go and stand guard for them.
Drugs ban and MB Kadine ya jamewi yo rui wade arrest because bo feni wande no ma minen miden tawa he kudata te dum wona dum gonga MB ko ya jamewi makone yo nange te ko on ya jame goto wi minen yo min nange.
It was Ya Jame who said we should be arrested, but the day we were arrested, the following day, Yaya Jame also said that Rui himself should be arrested because he told lies.
Then the Rui Yoti don Ben na lobby ha or kick mobom oimbo you stupid. You see, combat accord in English. He said you stupid. You see what you have done. You are reporting innocent people again. This is what you did. You reported me to the president, saying that I did not give you people the 10,000 euro he gave to each of you after testifying. If I had not made you to sign that receipt and show it to him, you would have landed me in trouble.
When he was brought in, Ben was so angry that Ben kicked him and told him that, you see,
Ben kikimbo ovimbo wanai anka peno modo because afeni do bedo wande na ko kuta be ngono te dum wana dum gonga.
Fat don
I already said it in English. Now I'm translating it in Fula.
Okay. But you are still using English.
Oh, sorry. Dumanin ovimbo wande no ma apeno do ngakda hada wadindira be do fenande wande no ko kuta be ngoni te dum wana dum gonga an goto on jada kadi mbida mi okani on ujunaje sapo euro de ya jam mi okki kamde pour yo mi okku goto he mon fo ujunaje sapo simi windano kayit pour China on wonde no ma on jeppi dum e juude am ha mi holli bodum wonno minene tayno anati ni kam e problem.
So that's how you knew that Rui Jabi Gassama and his colleagues were bribed 10,000 euro each to incriminate Langtombong Tamba.
Yoni konon andada wanda ma o Rui Jabi Gassama jo jonnama dukama guluji sappo euro pour o wawa natinde be te dum no immore e Yaya Jammeh.
Because ko dum Ben wi dum ko heso am.
Yes, that's what happened, and that's what Ben said, and it was in my presence.
And this payment of 10,000 euros came from Yaya Jammeh to these witnesses to incriminate Langtombong Tamba in a coup d'etat that he did not plan or do.
Hino wani o wulure guluji sappo euro on no immori e Yaya Jammeh pour yoba mo Rui Jabi Gassama o wawa nadinde Langtombong Tamba e coup d'etat mo andandama wondema o famani en hayfus o anda wala gandal e mum.
Wana Rui tan ko Ibrahima Mare mi anda he goddo ko be tato mona fo ujunaje sappo woni ujunaje tapantati.
It was not. It was not only Rui, there were about 3 of them. And it was in my presence when Ben explained this. And in fact, others were present when Ben was saying this. And when this was happening, the other people, the other 3 were brought in so that they can be present when this explanation was being done, so that it can be proven that it was a lie, that we were accused on a lie, So they were brought in and it was explained in their presence and Ben himself was there.
That is not what I am saying is, Rui, his other colleagues, Ibrahim Are and the other one, they were brought to the investigation about us for them to testify whether or not what Rui is saying is true or not. And they said it is not true, they don't know anything about us. They left. That's the short statement they gave. That's what they told us, because they came to us to explain that to us.
But that is on your side, why you were accused. I am focused mainly about the payment of witnesses to come and lie against persons accused of coup d'etat.
Komi woni faalde do ko dum woni yimbe be andana wondama hibe yobe kalisi pour be arabe jonna sedito e haala ko andana pour natingol yimbe.
Your testimony is that Rui Jabi Gassama, Ibrahima Mare and the other witness against Lam Tombong were paid 10,000 euro each by Yaya Jammeh to falsely incriminate Lang Tombong Tamba.
We know in your testimony. Yagal mangal ngal wonda jonnirde ngal yeso commission do ko dum woni Ibrahima Mar Rui Jabi Gassama ko yimbe be andana wonda be yobama e guluji sappo euro pour be wawa jondirde seedeyagal wawa natinde Lang Tombong Tamba e wobbe go ko dum woni seedeyagal ko dum wonda jondirde do
ko mi setti wonda ko dum wondanama la ko dum be cetti ko be cetti ko wondanama Lang Tombong na pakno wadde kudata ko be cetti dum ko dum tagi be joba odon halis.
Yes, what he said is that they were alleged that they were paid each of them 10,000 euros so that they can testify against Lang Tombong.
And how did you...
No, I want to put it correct. Clarify. The payment was meant for their testimony against Lang Tombong.
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Yes. How did you feel about that?
Me, I was not happy with that because that is inducement.
How did you feel that the President of the Republic is paying witnesses to induce them to testify against innocent people?
President lady nding himo jetta yimbe himo yobabe kalisi pour be arabe sedito e do hoore yimbe pour wawgol natingol ben ko nañi yirluda dum
min dolum yirli wona ko foti watte dum wona dum gonga.
How I saw it is it shouldn't have happened and it is not true.
What is not true?
Gondu woni wona gonga
mako haali dum de. Wona min haali dum de.
Okay.
It is not true wona gonga dum ko dum firti wona gonga. You are fullers sitting down here. Many fullers are here.
Could you say? Could you translate? Could you interpret what you said?
Repeat the question.
Council.
The question is.
Adani, the president pour how do me what they feel? On the humble yoba imbe pour yoba nja be cheto hedwan. Mimi dum wana ko foti wadde dum wana dum lawol min ko dum mi wi.
Bila dum fotaka wadede wona gonga.
No?
Ko dum wi no da. Ko ba hudda mawdo an ko lal Quran nanguda do hudi.
Okay.
Okay.
Moji.
Okay. The president should not be paying witnesses to induce them to falsely incriminate other witnesses, other suspects. That's what you said, right?
Yes, Wanadum Gonga, it has come again. It's not true.
Okay. Sorry.
No, don't care. Allah hake.
Okay. All right. But this thing used to happen. We will not go into any details.
Yes.
But these payments to witnesses to falsely incriminate other people used to happen.
Yes.
And the NIA and Holgam were at the center of this.
NIA kanyuma Holgam ko kabbe wonno hakkunde wado de bade wado de don.
Yo emoje.
And Minister
of Justice.
Minister of Justice.
The public,
office,
the
DPP's office.
The audience is not testifying.
DPP, I know with them. Gagdi do Minister of Justice, Gagdi do Pugi Nyawgol Yimbebe.
The man responsible.
DPP, and there are DPP.
The person known as the DPP. He and his deputy were also involved.
Richard Chenge and Mikhail Abdallah.
Richard Chenge and Mikhail Abdallah.
So what were they involved in?
Betawa he mabe he numo Eloise betawa he vetugol silaba because ontuma be ola pahari ben numo before I don't know pour hodum kono ta hebe loba ni Jesus ko moji Jesus me anda ko aldi benon kono
Ben just okay wait sa yawti si yuti addatala ben numo e hombo
Ben numo DPP, deputy Mako.
And DPP's deputy were annoyed, they were angry about Esabaji.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were angry about Esabaji.
And Ben and this man Pahari.
And Pahari.
Mamako no Solicitor General.
At that time he was the Solicitor General.
Okay. Let's take it step by step. Okay, let's go back a little bit. I note what you've just said.
Okay.
The question was, did it used to happen that the state would procure false witnesses to incriminate people they wanted to eliminate from the system?
Because by the middle hand and the high court did it.
Yes, I can say yes because I am aware of up to 2.
Yes, give us the examples. You've told us about the Langtombong case.
That's one of them.
Yes.
Godo konebembi yo silaba yo weche o wanta sande.
And the other one is when they said syllabus should change and become a witness.
Against Jesus.
To stand against Jesus.
Antuma mi hollibe Jesus hay goto meda ar we fop hay goto meda wi Jesus wi wonde no mo ka drug president nambo oki drug wala Jesus o meda ƴeptu jungo he jungo halis he neɗɗo walla o wi neɗɗo wonde no ma miɗo yeeya drug ɗum meɗa wat so joni hono ɗum wawi ta wonir.
What I said at that time was that Jesus has never said that he took money and gave it to people hand to hand. And
President.
Give it to, no.
Could you interpret
what I'm saying here is how can that happen? When Jesus...
we are losing track of the story. You're starting your answer with how can that happen?
Yes, that's what I do, because they say he should be changed to a witness. I say, how can this happen?
Okay.
How can Silaba be changed from a principal accused person in a matter to become now a witness, against somebody who is not the principal accused person? Because that Jesus never tell anyone, those people, those witnesses, those that claim Silaba took money from them, and Silaba told them with the pretext that he is giving drugs to sell by the president. So nobody have ever said that. Jesus also never said that. Even Silaba himself, he never said that. So now, how can that Jesus told people that he is giving drugs to sell by the president or any other person? Or Jesus, nobody had ever said that Jesus gave him money for drugs. So now, and Jesus never also received directly money from any of these people. Now, how can Jesus be the principal accused person? That is not possible. And then also that time, we had already sent our file. We have completed our investigations, and everything was sent to the relevant authorities. The distributions were made to the relevant authorities.
We were going to come into the case of Jesus. I have the report here.
Case Jesus on no yari no.
And so enjoy timato on to Macan because here at Alam the Kule Duman the falsification or changing of Duman in witness, something like that.
We were going to we are going to come into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was going to be under the case of fabrication of cases against people.
Yes.
So
we will come to that. But for now, the question is, was the government paying people to falsely incriminate people they wanted to get rid of? You've given us the example of Langtombong. You say he was falsely accused. And the principal witnesses were paid 10,000 euros each. Can you give us other examples where people were paid to falsely incriminate other people? Do you have any other examples?
Counsel, if a witness can answer that question precisely, not in a convoluted way, please proceed.
Just answer the question directly. You understand English perfectly well. In fact, your English is very good.
Min ko mi hali goto ko on mi andinen daiti order and then wana hen tawa.
Yes, the one I know, that's what the one I explained, but the other one is not part of it.
What I know explain.
That the one I was just trying to explain.
In your own case, do you know whether the government gave Rui Jabi Gassama any incentive to incriminate you?
Me
hebani hen ko labi kono mi do andi non nawadi dumanin numo en be ngantama be bayti be nji joni ko be jinno ko mi wada andum joni mi andi wonde no ma be mbadi fere no be jewti di odo ha o inna kam hen dum kam labi kono
joni fat
sorry sa jutini o sattay
sa jutini dum rek sattay. Okay, we and Sangoma, as far as he said, what he said is that as far as he didn't do what Numo and others want him to do, that was the reason why they wanted to implicate him, because they wanted him to do something that they want, and he refused to do that.
And what was it they wanted him to do which he refused to do?
Enjino pour mi binda ko vite ko affidavit kaytol ngantama ko pongol yaade code holliga wonde noma silaba samate e ontuma demin badimbo demin bisitimbo min tawani haydara ko fotira nangirede wala nabe code.
Yes, so okay, wait. They wanted me to write an affidavit which will be taken to the court to show that when we went to Silaba, we didn't find or see anything.
Investigated.
When he was being investigated, we didn't find or see anything that will incriminate him.
But Johnny, wadi ko funti, dum nambo modini, so Johnny hombo sokla.
Then after that, something came out which is involving him. So that's why he's wanted now.
Se abe mbadiri dum ni hebe ngandi wonde na ma on joni o dogi o funti ledni joni bana do mo bel dum woni ndako koto makko debbo na ko minira makko bi me ananda ko minira na ko kotira kono ko makko e makko jidi ko janke samate o vite.
But what happened? What happened later was that it was later discovered that Silaba Samate has absconded, And after that, the person who stood or who bailed him was was his sister, either a younger or elder sister. That was the person who they later on arrested.
Because onto my office of the president, horum na lobby na windi office ameno na bebiya ko hono odo woni ta witness. So dum holli ka wonde onto ma sande ka ya jame wanda sa odo ko silaba ko beccado o wada serne. Na ma windi office ameno wada query wonde ko take fere silaba na wona witness.
And in fact, the president himself was angry about this, and he even went to the extent of writing to us, saying that how can Silaba become a witness in this matter?
I say office of the president.
Office of the president, yes. That's where the letter came from,
yes.
Saying that how can Silaba become a witness?
The only letter are when be mean yomi jabombo, mean jabo kon jabo to miton, wande no ma komi lamdo to be minen report be min noldu be hoto on woni.
What they said was that, let me answer that letter. Then I said to them, then where is the report which concerns this matter?
In response, I told them that if I am to respond to this letter, I am going to question about the report that we sent. Where it is.
If they want me to write a report to answer that letter, then I will request for the report that was written about this matter. I will request for that report.
Ontumanon wani dum welani be benjehi min wopi be don miyehi ontumanon deka DPP and bindi on affidavit ha e pari be no dikam office makoto.
Then when I said that to them, I left them there, I went. On the whole, they were very angry about me. Then that was the time when the DPP wrote about this order affidavit about me, against me, and when the DPP, wasn't it the DPP who wrote?
No, they wrote an affidavit to say that Silaba was not found wanting before, but now that evidence have emerged that he is associated with somebody, so he is a subject, so that they can now get the sortie to continue the case. So when I went to the DPP and saw this letter, this affidavit, I told them this is not true because I'm not going to sign it. It's not true. I insisted. On tomorrow, the colleague on affidavit, me no bodo jogi sa copy on me jogaki mo kono mi to jogi golo. Mi salidum bimbe wonde no dum do mi watatum sign because ko fenade wona gonga.
When I was called to the DPP's office, I refused to sign that document because I told them it is not true. This is why I refused to sign that document.
On tomorrow, benje hindega. Bembetti hala amka bembatti dum no like commune wi bitedo binta samura on ko ton oligoto ko legal clerk on tuma.
Then they changed my words and wrote something else. Somebody called Binta Samura, who was a clerk working at that place, ko dum be wadi on
tuma on o windi affidavit pour holli rawande no ma commune ari office makoto be pare holli mo wande no ma dum do ko ni he ni dum lelore ko be ndino ko mi hala mi hale accord joni be bindiri dum non nawayno ni ko men yamiri Binta Samura pour o winda dum he inde am on tuma be naba dum.
What happened was that a clerk working there called Binta Samura wrote something which they wanted me to write, which I refused to do initially. So Binta Samura wrote that, and then it was then taken to these guys, and that's what they used. They are saying that it was me who wrote that or who said the words written on that document.
What I want to say here is, it is Binta Samura. The document now is changed as if I am the one who went to Binta Samura and then explained to her to write on my behalf the affidavit, the way it is. I even have a copy of it, which I would want to.
We would come to that.
Okay. So when this happened, they wrote it like that and then sent it. One day, I heard in the court that a document is presented there stating that Omar Cham, then I heard of that. I said, look, what is this? I tried to get a copy of the document from the court because it's
Johnny, what I need.
When I heard that at the court, to
nyawore minani be mi wonde ma to nyawore to naton wiya wonde ma min mido windi kayit pour holli gol wonde ma sila ba ni heni
Fadu, I heard this from the court that I wrote the document saying about Silaba did this and this and this.
Mi ontuma mi odo ono vite bom janke horma ko ta ontuma bunanga office amen.
That time, Janke was already arrested and was at our office, detained at our office at that time.
Makoy horma ko alando anda kam mi ari ha mi lamdi mo pour ondo hombo dum makone hombo wi on e bembi ko bite do Omar Cham yehi wi ton nangam he nangam. So jonon gandumi koko hebi ndeka on tubano mi wadi try ha mi hebi copy of the affidavit from the court.
Okay, then that was the time when I went to Janke because she doesn't know me. I asked her, and then she explained to me that it was said that I was the person who wrote this document. Then I tried by all means to lay hands on this document so that I can have it myself. In fact, to help myself. So this is the time when I got hold of the document. Then I took this document to Binta, and I asked her, well, did I say these things or did I tell you to write this? Then she said no. Then I asked her, then who told you to write this? She said her bosses, Richard Chenge and Mikhail Abdullah are the people who told her to write it. Tamido lobinon konon tawmi wonde noma mako alako wadi go ontumata ko osuka don jirumini ton to golleton. I was very angry, but when after looking at the whole thing, she's a young person who is who recently came into the job. So when I looked at things, I left it like that. Ontuma miruti officer mendeka bite do major bojang on ko badano do post at the Ministry of Justice. At that time, I went back to our office on the whole Major Bojang, who was attached to the Ministry of Justice. Boss Amen, the Director General, when you go Ministry of Justice, at the show. Then, when I went to my boss, Numo Kujabi, that was the time he told me that. On the whole, you went to the Ministry of Justice and started something like quarrel there. Because on jaho nimbindira te kotaki on guide gilalaw mi winoma wonde no ma mimi watadum wonadum gonga kotaki ane horema awambo at sign wala kotaki Ministry of Justice for I go to alaton balombo sign commune. Then when he told me that, I told him, well, I did this because I was accused of writing a document which I didn't do. Why didn't you sign it yourself or somebody else with your caliber who should have signed this? I didn't do it. And I'm accused now that I am the person who did this. So this is my reason for being angry about what was done. As a result of that, what did you decide to do? Antuma wani ko mi windi office amen o e koymabe be parende mi windi be mi wadi copy dumanin mi wadi copy Minister of Justice, Solicitor General, Chief Justice, Director of Public Prosecution, Deputy or Justice Amadi, because on jogino case Jesus eno. Okay, fine. That was the time when I also decided to write my own version of what happened. I decided to send a copy of the letter to my boss himself, Minister of Justice, and to the CG, Chief Justice himself, and DPP, and the DPP, and his deputy, Justice Amadi, and Justice Amadi, who was responsible for the case, and Binta Samura herself. And the JP Salimbenga, who, decided to authenticate something that she doesn't know. So you explain the story as to how that affidavit came to the court. Mi halim do be pare mo halleri wande no ma wota be mbad mistake bom be no dakam court pour affaire mo si mi yehi rek mi yabe dum do foko fenande. I did that, I said that, and I even told them that if they call me to the court about this case, I will tell all of them that it is a lie, it is not true.
And what eventually happened to that case against Jesus?
Joni on case mo anda na Jesus no fa no mo ko ndu wadu no case on kasakitoru.
Case o wa continue because case no wa ta continue rek ko simi jabi no yagol pour mi wada dum do.
The case, they were unable to continue the case because what they hoped was that I will go and agree with them. But when I refused, they cannot continue with the case.
So what happened to that particular case?
Joni on case on tigir ko honno sakori honno sakitoru.
So mi fogi watindo ko o hempina katon anda o ita manda ko ita kono hempina ni o kontinani.
The case was unable to go further. I don't know what happened to him later, but the case was unable to go ahead.
Of course, he was later charged with another case concerning Ramses and others.
Kono no ini yeso kadi be teguno case goddo e hore maka kadi mo anda wonda hino tawa Ramses kanyum e gobbe go.
But we would come to that.
En aroye don kono.
But you told us earlier that they were angry with Jesus.
Halani do wida yimbe wonda bawnu wonda ma Jesus woni Esa baji ko be yimbe lobalno mo ha.
Yes.
Sa ni matan ayi dum hen because suna dum den hokotaki hada ida modine do wala hokai da hada no because min ko dum min dare mi tegi wonde no sa ya hebe ni ba anden ko angan gu woni don kono wana gonga be ngoni.
Yes, if you look at the whole case, they were angry with him. But if there was no truth in what was taking place and what was happening. It was just a fabrication. That's what they were doing.
Okay. You refused to participate in that fabrication against Jesus, correct?
Asali ke wanda puru tawede kan hala du woni yubbingol kan hala kan ka hebake do Jesus.
That's what you said.
Jesus stand because wana makotan.
Yes, it was not only Jesus.
Kulute.
Lute also. And Sekabai, they were all in the same case.
Kelute Mane, is it?
Kulute Mane,
yes.
Yes. And the other person is Sekabai.
I don't know his. I forgot the.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's Cham Trrc or something.
Okay, Cham Trrc, yes. So this was the first case against Jesus.
Oh, no case either on Jesus.
But even in that case,
the
panel in which you were a member, did it recommend charges against Esa Baji?
Yes.
So why did you have a problem with the case against Esa Baji proceeding?
Because the thing was changed. And the changes that took place was not correct.
Can you tell us what was changed? We want the commission to understand what was the game that was being played. What was unlawful in that game? And how some of the players were rewarded and others punished.
We
want to understand the whole scheme.
And Silaba on ko bandi maudo teko sai ko tapalantejo.
Silaba happens to be a big criminal, a bandit, and somebody who is a mixer, who mixes things up.
He said Bandi, Sasai.
Bandi, yes.
That's what you said, isn't it? Could you say it?
He said, that's what I said.
Those are your words. Silaba Samate, how was he a bandit and a criminal?
Silaba ko ya o yepti faring mbo so di Karaba shopping center o wadi dum no package ni wadi hamo joni aya yimbe be joni o mo hollira wonde no ma ya jamme nambo oki drug pour yo o yey 20 tons o kimbo drug yo e ha pare o kimbo IGP dum woni Jesus because Jesus on ma won makko won IGP
yo darodon
okay.
Silaba went to the Kairaba shopping center and decided to buy flour. After buying this flour, he prepared it and put it into small packets, just how they prepare drugs. And then this is the item that he prepared and which he said was the type of drug that they were selling. And saying that it was Esa Baji who gave him these drugs to sell.
No. He said the president gave him the drugs to sell and then gave him Esa Baji, the IGP, and the military police to assist in the disbursement of these drugs and sell them to people.
Joni o wi me fahalana fulbe. Joni o wi kanko ko wi kon ko o farin ko fewni ko no wawno drug ni wi ko president jonnimo pour be jonna kala Esa Baji yimbe wobbe walla mo
Esa Baji yeso police military
yeso police abe.
What I want to say here is, the Silaba, he will tell people that it is the president who gave him this drug to sell. In order to do it, he gave him Jesus as the IGs to assist, as well as the military police, Sekabai and Kulite. So Kulite was to act in the absence of Sekabai, because there was a time Sekabai traveled, so Kulite was acting in his state. This is what he said. So now, si imbebe ngari ya imbebe pudi ar aya joni o wian mano how para be pare o kola Jesus so calli Jesus got the arat in full uniform IGP with the flag and the big official motto wara so ari joni si ben jodi ma do en silaba na lo wonde jom. I will translate that in English to help him so that we go fast. So I'm speaking Fula or English. I'm not
now Johnny how do me pular kala.
Okay, so imbe be ngari o wiya be wonde no ma ko ya jame ko to o nodda Jesus he telephone then Jesus arat si Jesus are wonay gardo on o taweta ke do haldata do Jesus de ko so ari joni o immoto do o yaha tonin joni aya wonde toni Jesus o do na yiya kono wandata ko haldata e Jesus so pare o aksa o wiyam ay mi halani Jesus pour wonde no ma ana ari ko dum do cogluda so adani baydi ko mabbe garanta gay president mabbe poti walde pour min jeya dum do on tuma non Jesus ya to kadi o wa non Sekabai on yara
okay fatsela the plot that was being run was that Silaba told people that these drugs were given to him by the president, and he was also to be assisted by the IG, who happens to be Jesus at that time, plus other members of the security units. So when he discusses with somebody about selling of drugs, when that person comes, Silaba will call IG, who will also come sometimes in full uniform. He will get up, go and discuss with Esa Baji at a distance. The person will see him discussing with Esa. Then after that short discussion with Esa, Silaba will come back to the person. So Silaba arijoni ko dumote.
So actually, ontuma arani odon ogumat, wande no ma koko hebi, ontuma oyaha, o adoya o adakalis.
Then when Silaba comes back to the person who wants to buy this drug, then that person will believe because he has already seen Silaba talking to the IG.
And the military police. And
the military police who were also there. So then Silaba will go and come with the money. He will, the person who wants to buy the drug will go and bring the money to Silaba.
So at the Kalisohan, I Johnny Silaba, Alani Wononi ko bandi, or Jepta hen, or what I envelope, or Jepta go no what I envelope, Johnny Puru Johnny Kadi or not that Jesus your military police or Purbeara.
Then after he takes the money from the person who wants to buy this drug, he will divide it, put some in one envelope and put some in the other envelope. Then he will call Jesus to come.
And the military police.
And the military police.
Johnny Sibengari Han, Kadi or Dagdo Toyama Bedula, on Yade, Hombo Yapi envelope, Hombo Okajumum, on Yadum.
When these people come, he will go away with them a little bit further from the person who came to buy the drugs. that person will see him handing over this envelope to the military police and also to Jesus.
Koni dum woni ha wodi Nigeria no be dido ben be tinidum bayte be ngandi pambay pa habbi mbay gonodo CMC
this is
be jehi be kalayani dum pambay woni on wadi gondo gay ko dum do o wita woni ya jame nambo okki drugs mo yeya te ko military police okki mo.
This is what was happening until there were two Nigerians who came to know what was going on. These two Nigerians decided to go to Pambai, who was at that time Kanko no CMC wana?
No, Omedi no one day. Omedi no one day.
Who was one time CMC. But at that time, when this was happening, he was not working with the police. But these two Nigerians decided to go to Pambai and report this matter to him.
Why did the Nigerians decide to go to Pambai to report?
Because mabe one day no ma dumdo ko hunde one day serious the president no inde de affaire drug na wadi serious e mabbe no be mbiri so ko dum do takki fere ha bayti be ngandi Pambay be mbi be jaha e mba nambo dum explain.
Yes, okay. Okay. The reason why these Nigerians decided to go to Pambai is that to name the president of the country to be selling drugs or giving people to sell drugs in his name is a very serious matter. So this is why these two Nigerians decided to go to Pambai and report this matter to him, because what they heard about the names that they were using, that it was the president who gave them this drug, was something very serious. This is why they went to Pambai. Mike.
Thank you. Was Silaba actually giving them drugs?
No, Silaba. Tigi on. Ngata ko kanko jonna no be drugs on.
O kata be drug ko onda hombo be weddo.
What kodum?
O kata be ko onda hombo be wala feeling falam bo be weddo.
No, he was just fooling these people, you know, twisting and turning them. Yes.
Was he giving them anything?
Nda wodi ko jonna tabe?
Ay daga.
He doesn't give them anything.
What happened to the flour that he bought?
Joni on farin on ko hondu wadi on farin.
Nde dum do wondi problem o yakoy dum.
When this problem emerged, he decided to go and destroy all those flour bags.
But was he giving some of his customers flowers, making them believe that, flour, making them believe that this was in fact drugs?
My memory serves me well. I don't think so. If
I can remember properly, I don't think he was doing that.
We have the report.
Yes.
So we would let you see the report later. I think this is a convenient time to stop for the lunch break. Let's stop it here, and then we'll continue when we come back.
Well, certainly a good time to break here. Bandits, Tapale, Pilimpalang. What is it? Well, anyway, we'll take one lunch break and then come back at 3 o'clock. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.